Hello, Penny here. Today on my garden podcast, parallel play. Kids do that, don't they? That's what I wanted to have in the garden today. Just me and the hunky husband doing separate things, really relaxing, not having to speak to each other. Does that make me sound intolerant? Yes, it does. Do I care? No, I don't. Don't have a clue about gardening? Give it a go. That makes me feel professional. It comes live from the green. It doesn't come live at all. It's pre-recorded from the greenhouse, and I am planting some seeds out. So what have we got here? Well, we've got a fantastic collection of what I hope to be cut flowers. I'm going to be the cut flower woman this year. I'm going to have a Chelsea award-winning cut flower bed of dahlias and a thing called treasure flower. We've got China aster. They're fluffy, basically. Pinks, purples, cerise, white, pale yellow, pom-pommy, and they grow quite high, 70 centimetres. And the staple of the garden podcast every year, no, not Nicotiana, but the sunflower, the humble sunflower. And I've gone for, this year, bought a packet, like lovely packet buying of seeds, full of promise, isn't it? Golden promise. Is the American giant yellow, which is Helianthus anus. Easy for me to say. 500 centimetres. What's that? 5 metres. Oh my God, that's brilliant. Okay, I love it. On the label, it's got symbols and stuff. You kind of have these packets from different brands that think that they can sort of shortcut symbols and tell you what's what. So we've got a symbol of a butterfly. So I'm guessing it's good for butterflies and wildlife. And then underneath that is a knife and fork. Oh, and a free label inside. So that'll help. Right. So I'm going for these new brilliant propagator things. Okay, so I'll describe them. I'm not sure what they're called, but basically the seedling pods of 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 by 6. So we've got a certain number of oh, my maths is so terrible today. 4 times 6, 24. 24. I've had a long week. It's been really full on, but I'll get onto that probably. 24 little seed places for your little seeds, and on top of which goes this lid. It's plastic, but we're going to try and preserve it forever. So double many-use plastic. This is a lid, and the joyful thing about that is it keeps all the seedlings damp, because it is such a pain, isn't it? Trying to sprinkle them with water. Plus, underneath is a tray. That makes me feel professional. Okay, so I've got a handful. I've been holding it the whole time I've been speaking to you. You remember Gareth Hunt in the coffee advert, who'd do the shaking of the coffee beans behind his ear and then pull them out and sniff them? That's exactly what I've got with these seeds, although they are not coffee bean sized. That's probably a reference that will go over many people's heads. It was an advert, coffee, blah. Right, so I'm putting the treasure flower in, and I'm hoping that they're going to be an absolute treasure. So I'm going to do a few of different plants and see how we get on. Usual fare. Just give it a go. Don't have a clue about gardening. Just stick some stuff in the ground. And I must say today is just, again, full of promise and springtime niceness. We've had a really cold snap. It snowed again, but it does sometimes. It's really warmed up today. In fact, it's the first time in the greenhouse we've actually opened the windows. News just in. Oh, Lordy. I think I've lost the plot this week. Seriously. I've been a bit stressed. I'm going to be honest, a bit stressed about the old money. Sometimes you get like that when you run your own business. You're a bit like, oh, right, we were doing really well all last year. Where's all the work now? And then you remember that you had to actually make the work come along your way. So we've been doing a bit of that, all hands to the pump, and it's been a bit stressy, but that's okay. That's what it is. I loved Mark, I can't remember his name. Anyway, in his book, Subtle Art of Not Giving a Beep, he says, pick the problems that you like solving in life. Don't just mither on about, oh, life's so full of problems. I can't solve them. Oh, it's life so difficult. And it is difficult and challenging. But if you can find the problems that you don't actually mind solving, like finding work, finding customers, that sort of thing. I love that sort of work. Nut job that I am about that. But anyway, so yeah, that was interesting. Right, I'm going to go straight for sunflowers now because I've got a free label and I want to use it. Now, what's your rule of thumb, gardeners, for the sunflower plant out? How many do you want in your garden? How many, what do they call it? How much collateral damage will there be? Shall I plant all of them? Oh, it's loads of them. I don't want that many sunflowers in my garden. Or do I? They're going to form part of the... Oh, sod it, let's do it. I don't know how many there are, about 25 there. Some won't work. That's fair enough. Some will. Oh, now what I want to do... This has annoyed me, actually. Husband came into the greenhouse. What are you doing? I'm planting some sunflowers, darling. And he went, oh, right, okay, I'll help. I don't want your help. I'm really happy doing my thing. And then he's filled the seed tray all the way to the top and then patted it down really hard, just without being asked. And I didn't want it to go like that. I wanted to take my time. And then he said, just plant them all out. You don't just do sunflowers, plant them all out. It's like, what? Just get lost, parallel play. Kids do that, don't they? That's what I wanted to have in the garden today. Just me and the hunky husband doing separate things, just really relaxing, not having to speak to each other after a long week. And no, he's in my grill, patting down soil when I don't want it patted down. Now, does that make me sound intolerant? Yes, it does. Do I care? No, I don't. But so what I've done is gone, right, okay, that's brilliant. Leave me alone. And so the thing I love about hunky husband, he takes instruction well. And when I say leave me alone, I don't mean it harshly. And I don't mean stop loving me. I just mean give me some space. And he just goes, do you want a cup of tea? And he goes off and he makes a brew. And then he comes back and we have a little sit down and I think about it all over again. And I say, I've planted those sunflower seeds. And he goes, oh, that's nice. Where are you going to put them? And then we have a different chat. It's the fascinating world of Penny Haslam. Right, so what I've done is basically just scraped off all of the heavily patted down soil that was in my little seed trays. So I can just place the sunflower seeds in without having to dig them in. And then I can cover them loosely with soil. Now on the packets, and it slightly worried me for a split second, it said use sowing compost. At which point I was like, oh my God, I haven't got any sowing compost. I need to go to the garden centre where the lady who rips me off every time and isn't very nice works, and I need to buy sowing compost. But actually, to his credit, and he always does this, he's a very reassuring man, his hunky husband. He went, you don't need sowing compost. Just bob it in the ground, give it a go, So here I am with a bit of normal commoner garden, compost. Seeds just like compost and soil, don't they? It doesn't matter really what it is. You don't have to get fancy. I think there's a lot of geekery about this, and I have mentioned this before in previous podcasts. Everything attracts an element of geekery, doesn't it? Language, technology, equipment, vernacular, stuff we refer to once you get in the know, when you're in the know. Now, if you're not in the know as a gardener, it's... do you need sowing compost? You can be riddled with insecurity. So, yeah, I'm a bit knackered today. Although it's Sunday and it's sunny, I'm not feeling like a spring lamb. I am feeling a bit like, all right, just get this day done and go back to bed again. So that's not very good, is it, for a positive mindset? Well, normally I'm a very positive person. My mum, actually, I don't know if I mentioned this before, and it does tickles me every time I think about it. She once said to me, and this is recently, and I was jollying her along, I think, or I was trying to put a kind of, I love reframing things to be less gloomy, because often we speak to ourselves, don't we, in a way that is, oh, it's all going to go wrong, or, oh no, I've not done this before, it's going to be crap. Or, it's never, we worry about things and ruminate or cast into the future, into the what if. Or what if the gas man doesn't turn up and do this thing on the day that I said I was going to be in? And, there's a whole load of stuff in life we can really go for it with, can't we? And the worry. And we know we worry in the middle of the night loudly about stuff like this. So I try to reframe it. Say we don't need to worry about that sort of thing, do we? Don't we? Don't know. Anyway, I was trying to jolly my mum out of some sort of worry fug that she was in. She went, trust you to be positive. We are northern. I don't know if that's got a bearing on things. Now to the dahlias. So I'm going to wrap it up now because I've got a few more rows of seeds to plant. I'm going to do dahlia and I'm going to do the China aster. They're a bit similar. So I'm going to get on with that because I'm sure that listening to me sow seeds is not the most exciting garden podcast. Joey's even fallen asleep. That's how exciting it's been. Thrill a minute as I plant out these, sow out these seeds. Right, that's the dahlia. Oh, can you hear that? Oh, crunchy seeds full of promise.